What's up, y'all? I'm Sable Danielle, a human design coach, and I've been wanting to do this video for a while about moving from a cycle 10 to a cycle 4, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. But first, I wanted to talk to you about my free upcoming workshop, Know Yourself, Love Yourself, that is Healing Shadows Through Human Design. It's free, it's virtual, you can sign up on Eventbrite, and we'll go through the gems of how to stop people pleasing and set boundaries, how to stop being so reactive and be responsive, not letting your emotions control you, how to stop taking things so personally, how to love yourself, change your habits, switch your mindset to a more positive mindset, all through human design. I had to do that for myself. It helped me elevate and love myself a lot more, so I wanted to share these tips with all of you. But let's dive into this video. So when I first moved to Vegas, my address added up to a 10. And now my address adds up to a 4. And I wanted to talk about the significance of that because my life has changed drastically from one location to another, and they all are surrounded by either the themes of what 10 represents or the theme of what 4 represents. So first and foremost, I believe that life is made up of cycles. I think that everything has meaning. I look for meaning in everything. And sometimes it just finds me. There's lessons in everything. And 10 represents like final. It's kind of the ending, right? But it also is like a period for growth and transformation and self-discovery. It was when I first lived at the other place that added up to a 10, the address, I was focused on my business and building an aligned community, aligned friendships, overcoming fears, and embracing like my true self. I was reestablishing myself in a completely new city as the authentic version of myself that I had grown into over the past several years. And I was very focused on my business as a new entrepreneur. Started a podcast. I started selling things at pop-up events. I grew my community. I started hosting sound baths. I started doing all of my business in this location that added up to a 10. And so I want to talk about the significance of this, where 10 cycles are about like completion, transformation, stepping into leadership. It's the culmination of like old patterns and the beginning of a new chapter, which that absolutely was it. I moved from Cali to Vegas as a completely different person than I moved to California as. And it also carries like the energy of 1, which symbolizes independence and new beginnings and self-expression, combined with 0, the infinite potential and spiritual growth. My spirituality grew, my potential grew, my independence grew. I had so many new beginnings, new experiences in that 10 place is what I'll call it. And then I moved to this place that equals a 4, and 4 represents foundation, stability, healing, building strong habits and relationships, and that has been more of my focus over the past almost year, ever since being here. Like, I didn't notice it until I actually was like, what does this address equal? Let me see. And I was like, well, damn, it's in alignment. So let me dive in a little bit further. The cycle 10 for me was like my season of transformation. It was my season of stepping into my power, focusing on my business, building a community that aligned with my values, my vision, and who I actually am. Like, I was able to finally show up authentically because I did the work to know myself, love myself, and know who I am. It allowed me to, like, during that time, I faced my fears. I overcame a lot of fears. Everything I do I've been learning to do is like getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I come from a fear-based lineage. Strong ass women, strong ass people, but fear and anxiety and like holds people back. So working through that has been a huge goal for me. And I was able to overcome a lot of fears. Speaking, I started a podcast, becoming an entrepreneur and having to network and introduce myself and create things that are like teaching people, like all of this is out of my norm and was very uncomfortable for me, and I could have let fear hold me back. But during my 10 cycle, I was overcoming fear and finding confidence in my voice and choosing my peace over people pleasing. And I was focused on growing my business and finding an aligned community, and it was really transformative for me during that chapter. And that was a heavy focus during my time at this 10 location. So one of the most transformative parts of my journey was being able to find my voice and learning to speak my truth and communicate with confidence, even when it wasn't easy. Like, communicating is not easy for me. I've mentioned before, I have gate 12 defined in my throat chakra, or my throat center, the gate of caution. I overthink everything. I feel very like awkward socially speaking, but who cares? Like, I get over it. Everybody knows, it's not a secret. So it is what it is. This is who I am. And at that place, I loved where I lived, and it felt great for me while I was there, and I had a lot of amazing experiences and growth there. But towards the end, I felt like very stagnant. It started to feel dark. I felt very pigeonholed, like my growth was stagnant. I ended a 10 cycle, which felt very bittersweet, because it was like the ending to what? Like, what am I going to go to next, right? Well, I was focused on a business and an aligned community, but now I can focus on healing my heart chakra and healing my relationships and building like stronger personal relationships rather than just community-based relationships. And that kind of happened going from like the 10 to a 4. So letting go of the cycle, I think I would like to add some tips on letting go of a cycle without like harboring negative feelings. It's okay to allow yourself to change. It's okay to allow yourself to evolve. It's okay to allow yourself space to grieve and be sad, as long as you don't allow yourself to be stuck there. But also, like, celebrate that time. During my time at the 10 location, it was great. So I'm going to celebrate those wins. I'm going to remember those memories with the people that I allowed into my space, the memories I created in that space, the ideas I brought to life in that space. I created a fucking journal. I created a journal in that space. Let me show you a real journal, self-reflection journal. 141 pages of beauty, creativity that I created in that 10 space. And so I'm leaving it. I created my LLC in that space. I met the man of my dreams in that space. I met, like, there were a lot of great things that happened in that space. That was the last space that my beautiful little Foxy physically got to run around with me in. And so it was very sad to leave, but there are great things that happen there, great things for me to hold on to. And then also there's great things for me to get to now that I've ended that 10 cycle. But letting go of a cycle, reflect on what you've learned and achieved, release what no longer serves you, celebrate your growth and transformation, and set intentions for the next chapter. Like, letting go isn't about forgetting. It's about caring for the lessons and memories while making space for something new. And as I stepped into like this 4 cycle, the energy felt very grounded and supported. It felt more loving. Not to say that there wasn't a lot of love in the last chapter, but this 4 cycle space feels very heart chakra focused. Healing my heart chakra, speaking from my heart, breaking down walls, and also being able to establish boundaries in different ways and healing relationships. And so the key theme to a 4 cycle is building strong foundations, habits, and routines, healing and opening the heart chakra, improving and deepening relationships, setting compassionate yet firm boundaries, nurturing the mind, body, and soul, and pouring into people who pour into you. I have a mirror downstairs that I wrote an affirmation on that I can remember to see every day. How are you nurturing your mind, body, and soul? That is so important to me right now. Opening and healing my heart chakra is so important to me right now. And then also, as soon as I moved here, I recognized that building stronger habits and routines for myself became a huge priority. Waking up in the morning and reading and writing down what I'm grateful for, and then going and laying in my hammock and either listening to meditation music before I start work, or having a slow morning, whatever, to create a routine that was healthier for me was a key focus. Establishing structure and routines for my business and building a strong foundation in that way became a strong focus. Not just creating a business and here's my business without any structure. No, this isn't a hobby for me. I want this to last. So I needed a structure and foundation. I needed to change my habits. I needed to change how I did things. And that became a huge focus for me once I moved here, before I even looked up what 4 meant. So I just think it's beautiful how much this is aligned with me. In this cycle, I'm focused, like I said, slow morning. I'm focused on slowing down and creating the space I need to grow intentionally. One of my main focuses, like I said, was healing my heart chakra, opening my heart chakra, and that means creating space for forgiveness for myself, being vulnerable, having deeper connections with myself and others, my family members. When I first moved into this house, since I left Illinois in 2015, this was the first time I hosted all of my family members in my home. My sister, her husband, their kids, my grandma, my parents, my brother, my animals. They don't even really know this version of me for real, and it was chaotic. It was lovely. It was beautiful because I love these people. It was so much fun having them here, but also my peace bubble was disturbed, okay? And so working and healing through those things, which were mostly internal because I didn't voice these things in my family. All I know is I wanted them to come, and then I was like, holy shit, you've been gone for 10 years. You've grown into a whole new person. And now you set boundaries. You're not worried about people pleasing. You're grown. So like, dad, mom, yeah, I hear you, but that doesn't mean I'm going to listen to you. Siblings, you're getting on my nerves. Or I just need some space to go sit here. Or I worked my ass off for this. You're not going to like bring me back to where I was. Like, working through those things was very crazy in the moment, but it's beautiful. So that's just part of me healing my heart chakra and being honest and healing relationships. And not even that there's anything to mend, but as an individual, I've been gone away from my family, healing things and habits that I might have learned from the environment that I was in. So being surrounded by people who are on their own journeys, who might not be working through the same exact things I'm working through, when I have created this bubble of peace, being by myself for so long, was was a difficult thing to work through. But I was honest with myself, and I recognized that I needed to do some more healing and more work, and also I needed to learn to express myself so that relationships could improve, expectations could be transparent, boundaries could be there. And it's not like firm, trying to be an asshole, but it's like, this is what I need for peace. What do you need for peace? That's how it should be viewed. So, to heal the heart chakra, I was practicing self-compassion, self-love, releasing past hurt, forgiving myself and others, meditating, engaging in practices, journaling, rage writing, going to a break room if you need to, get rid of like the angry things so that you can allow love, peace, and, heart chakra goodness back into your life. I've been learning to receive love more freely, give love more freely without expectations, while staying grounded and honoring my own truth and boundaries. Boundaries, this is what I've realized with boundaries. A lot of people take boundaries offensively because they don't set them, or either they don't honor other people's boundaries. And yes, boundaries can be used as a way to like cope and like just keep a wall up, right? But also boundaries are a way of honoring our peace, and it's an act of self-love and self-respect, and also respect and love for others. Everyone has their own boundaries, so it's like, why can't we just express that and respect that, and then be able to intermingle like with that in mind, and then we can like respect and love each other how we need to be respected and loved. So if we can shift the mindset of boundaries to being like, you don't want me to do this, well, fuck you. Like, that's not what a boundary is. It just means, this doesn't make me feel good. Can you please not do that? Because what I want in a relationship is to make you feel good, and I want to feel good in your presence. It's a mutual exchange. But if we're not honoring or even voicing our boundaries, how can we do that? Just ponder on that for a minute. um, Okay, so in this cycle, I'm focusing on building routines and habits that support my overall well-being, my health. I got a juicer. I've been juicing fresh juice. I've been choosing not to like purchase pop or like super sugary drinks from the store anymore. I'm really only trying to drink kombucha, tea, fresh pressed, like homemade juice and water. And that's what I've been doing. I've been eating more intentionally. I've been showing my locks a little bit more love. I've been showing my skin a little bit more love. I've been showing my business a little bit more love. Like I've been all of these things show up differently. So also, tips for embracing your 4 cycle. Reflect on what you want to build and create in your life. Focus on routines and habits that support your growth. Heal and nurture your relationships, starting with yourself. That's key. You always have to start with yourself. Set intentions for how you want to feel in this cycle. And then trust that this time is time to ground yourself and prepare for future growth. Family orientated. I even got a new animal. I got a cat. I'm a cat mom now, and his name is Juno. And Juno even represents like relationships and more heart chakra based elements. But I'll do a video on that later because he deserves his own video. And he's asleep right now, so can't even show him to you. But he's cute, and you guys deserve to see him. I love him. But anyways, so moving from a 10 cycle to a 4 cycle was a major journey of transformation and renewal for me. It was like a whole new experience, but it's really been great. It's about honoring the growth of my past while grounding myself in the present and making sure that I'm whole and my cup is full and I'm pouring into myself in the ways that I need to in order to show up for others how I need to in my relationships and with myself and like my personal relationships. So healing the heart. Also, this is a new cycle, an opportunity to create the life that I've wanted, to live more intentionally, to create the business how I wanted, grow my business how I wanted. So many beautiful things have started with my business since being here with a open heart chakra and with my relationships. They've shifted a little bit, I've noticed as well. And a lot of what I'm doing feels a lot more rooted in love rather than survival. And that feels beautiful. Like love, balance, and alignment, intention, being purposeful, and embracing who I am. I've never been this confident, and I've never been able to show up as this version of myself before. I'm still getting used to it, but I love it. And if that came from the 4 cycle, and opening my heart chakra, I am all for it. And I can't wait to see what else is to come from that. So, I just lost the last thing I was going to say. Okay, here we are. That's pretty much it. Oh, here, let me go about Juno. I just found this little thing on Juno. Okay. Juno invites us to reflect on the dynamics of love and relationships, not just romantic, but the bonds we nurture with ourselves and others. Juno asks us to examine what commitment, loyalty, and harmony mean in our lives. And that's been a huge focus for me as well. And I just love the alignment of going from a 10 to a 4 and then getting my lovely little cat Juno that represents everything that the 4 represents, where I'm at in this space. So I feel very much in alignment, and I wanted to share that with you guys. You know, I pay attention to all the signs and symbols and look for meaning in a lot of things. And this chapter is very meaningful for me, and I just urge you all to pay attention to the signs and numbers and not everything, okay? Everything doesn't mean something. But if there's something that consistently is showing up for you, or you've got a consistent theme for you, look at what does your address equal? What's your life path number? Like, certain things are going to align with you. I know what feels good to me. I'm an intuitive person. I move from my intuition. I'm a splenic projector. So intuition is what moves me. So I know what means something for real, and what doesn't. But it's up to you to find what means something to you for real, and what doesn't. And when you do, I hope it's as life-changing for you as it was for me. If you want to join my free workshop to learn more about healing shadows through human design, that's February 9th, and you can sign up Eventbrite Sable Danielle, and the link is in my description and